worship, and encounter Christ in a way that helps us to be His living disciples. Catholic speakers will include Annie Hickman and others, plus music by the Dave Moore Band. All clergy and seminarians are free. Register today at CatholicBrothersForChrist.com. That's CatholicBrothersForChrist.com.
Are you looking for a tax preparer this year to help you with your personal or business tax filing or management? At Balance Book LLC, they can assist with business and personal tax returns, accounting services, sales tax, payroll, business formations, and more. They can be reached by calling 972-805-5095. Or you can visit them at 4425 West Airport Freeway, Suite 122, Irving, Texas 75062. Balance Book LLC, a new sponsor of the GRN and members of Holy Spirit Catholic Church in Duncanville.
Did you know that 1 in 6 men have been sexually abused? These men usually suffer in silence and struggle with feelings of shame, despair, anger, broken relationships, and more. If this is you or someone you know, take courage. Call us. This suffering can be brought to a healthy healing. Dawn of Mercy offers 10-week healing programs for men harmed by sexual abuse. A group for men in English starts April 27th. To find out more and to register for this healing group, call 469-613-3296 or email healing@dawnofmercy.org.
Do you want a faith-filled Catholic community where your child will thrive? Discover Immaculate Conception Catholic School in Denton, where your child will receive the very best spiritual foundation, along with excellence in education. ICCS serves 250 students ages 3 through 8th grade. Whether it's living the Rosary, the celebration of the Mass, or the formation of saints, scholars, musicians, and athletes, Our Lady School is the place to be. For more information, call 940-381-1155 to arrange a tour or visit CatholicSchoolDenton.org.
This is Jesuit Father Robert McTague, host of the Catholic Current, where we bring Christ to the world and the world to Christ. Join me on Fridays for Let's Talk About This, where you and I walk through a controversial issue together. Then we'll wrap up with Weekend Readiness, reviewing the week's headlines in light of the upcoming Sunday Scriptures, so you'll be all prayed up for Sunday Mass. That's the Catholic Current on Friday, right here on the Guadalupe Radio Network at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Do you need a new branding strategy that allows you to educate and engage with your local community while building trust and credibility? Decided Excellence Catholic Media offers a very unique branding platform which showcases you as the expert in your industry. Our exclusive publications are open, read, kept, and shared with thousands of readers in communities throughout Texas and nationwide. To learn more about our powerful branding solutions, please contact Doreen Chaney at dchaney@decidedexcellence.com. That's DCHANAY at decidedexcellence.com.
To persevere in faith requires an intentional effort to keep our gaze upon the Lord. To help, all men are invited to attend the 11th Annual North Texas Catholic Men's Conference on Saturday, April 30th that includes Mass, prayer, and the sacraments. It takes place at St. Anne Catholic Church in Capel from 8 to 3:30 p.m. Registration and sponsorship opportunities are available online at CatholicBrothersForChrist.com. Catholic speakers will include Annie Hickman and others, plus music by the Dave Moore Band. So sign up this week at CatholicBrothersForChrist.com. That's CatholicBrothersForChrist.com.
Hello, my name is Bill Mertz. My wife Liz and I own MasterTech Auto Repair in Plano. We're proud sponsors of Catholic Radio. Our family has been parishioners of St. Gabriel's in McKinney for many years. MasterTech is a full-service auto repair, from oil changes to complete engine replacement or transmission service. We're located just across the street from St. Mark's Parish in Plano. You can contact us at 972-578-1841 or www.mastertechplano.com. Thank you, and may you have a blessed day.
Keeping you informed and inspired. Hi, Joe McLean here, host of the Catholic Drive Time, heard Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central, 7 Eastern, right here on the Guadalupe Radio Network. News and information, Catholic conversation, inspiration, fun, and prizes are involved. Log on to our website to get all the details, to find all the information, the podcast, the videos, and so much more. grnonline.com. That's grnonline.com/CDT. God love you.
Thanks for listening to KATH 910 AM, Frisco, Dallas, Fort Worth on the Guadalupe. Welcome to Back to the Father, a show about the journey of life focused on our final end, which is God Himself, our loving Father. And now, here's your host, Dave Palmer.
And welcome, everybody, to Back to the Father, this week's edition here on all the Guadalupe Radio Network social media sites. I'm Dave Palmer, as Stan just said. Glad you're with us. This is a program where we talk about some particular topic related to the Summa Theologia by St. Thomas Aquinas, and we discuss it with our in-studio panel, and happy to have everybody with us today, beginning with Cecile Anderson over there. How you doing? We got to make fun of one guest today for mispronouncing your name. That was kind of fun, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. That's a pretty common thing. I am not bothered by it. I think it's hysterical, but it's really funny. I think I should be better at pronouncing people's names, considering I have a difficult one to pronounce.
Yeah. You need to set the example.
I know. I need to set the example.
So who do you mispronounce?
A lot of people's names.
Right.
Well, it's just I second guess. I usually actually am right, but I second guess it, and I'll usually ask the person to say it.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay.
So the inside joke is that a lot of people don't know how to pronounce or say or spell Cecile's name. It's Sissel. It's pronounced Sissel.
Kind of difficult for communication purposes.
Yeah. So we were doing a live broadcast like an hour ago down out in Frisco at the Young Catholic Professionals, and one of the guys, unbeknownst, he wasn't the New York guy.
No, it was Spencer from EWTN.
Oh, Spencer, yeah, okay. Spencer mispronounced it, so we had some fun at his expense. All right, and another guy with a somewhat hard to pronounce last name, Jonathan von Weber Hansberg. How you doing, Jonathan? Good to see you.
I'm doing great.
Still going to UD?
Yes.
All right.
That's the plan.
So you're spending the night there tonight, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
You got to get used to that dorm life now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My brother's an RA, so I can just sleep in his dorm every now and then, you know.
Yeah, cool. Now, what's the name of the dorm?
Oh, gosh, what is it?
Yeah.
Augustine. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are they all named after saints?
Mm-hmm. I think for the most part.
Is there an Aquinas dorm?
There isn't, but there should be.
Yeah.
I'll start a movement
Dave,
when I
if
join
you want to
there.
sponsor it, I'm sure they'd be happy to name it.
I'll pay for the first $10.
Okay.
Okay.
You'll put down the down payment, right?
Yeah,
There you
pay
go.
for some dirt. And not to be forgotten is our dear friend, Diane Xavier, behind the glass. Jonathan moves instinctively so Diane can be seen. There she is, waving at you out there in TV land. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. This is a little show. We enjoy your feedback. We enjoy hearing what you have to say. I think, last week we had a pretty provocative topic. We're going kind of full extreme here from, should we?
Let's keep at it.
Should we kill people to children?
Kind of a bad segue. But, so last week was provocative. Did St. Thomas Aquinas, in fact, say that heretics ought to be put to death? And, of course, he did, but it was a little nuanced. And, I think it takes some explanation and kind of reasoning behind it. Today, we are going to talk about how old should a person be when they take their first philosophy class? When should we start teaching philosophy? And one of the reasons that I think that this is a particularly good topic to talk about right now is there's a huge debate going on in the culture right now about sex education for young people, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're saying, there's some people on the left are saying that kids as young as kindergarten, first grade should be taught, sex education. We shouldn't, force their gender upon them. And so this is in the news already, right?
Yeah, it should be said that's like what they think sex education should be. We're not talking. We're not going to be talking to our kids about parents need to decide all that kind of stuff. But like we're talking about what they want.
Right. Yeah, they want to teach them about transgender stuff.
Yeah, they want to. Things that don't need to be taught.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you might say, well, the playing devil's advocate. Why would you? And because just full disclosure, I'm going to advocate that we ought to start teaching basic principles of Thomistic philosophy, Christian philosophy to young kids, 3, 4, 5. I really believe it. I wrote a book about it for the parents to teach, and I think you just can't wait. Most people don't take a philosophy class until they get to college. Yeah, I mean, you're a little different. How about you? Did you take philosophy in high school or grade school? You did.
In high school, a little bit of middle school, I think. Very basic for middle school, but yeah.
Yeah. Diane's a product of public education. Diane, have you ever taken a philosophy class in your life other than sitting through Back to the Father every week?
I did at Blinn Community College, which is the community college located in Bryan College Station, Texas. So,
what was your class?
Philosophy. I think like the introduction to philosophy or something.
Okay.
I took that because I didn't want to take the hard math class that A&M required.
Right.
But the philosophy class, they said replace that, so I got credit for it.
Sweet.
Wait,
Yeah.
I want to take philosophy instead of math. I want to do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times philosophy is taught. It sounds like maybe Diane's class was. Here's the different philosophers. Here's what Nietzsche said, and Descartes, and maybe Aquinas, and that's good. That's all right. But it's not instructional. It's more informational.
Yes.
Like these are the different types of thought, but it's not leading them in one particular direction. So some people may say, well, why would you force a 5-year-old to have to think in a certain way at that young age? Why not just let them develop on their own and kind of pick things up? And I think that's a
valid point.
It's a valid point, So what do you think? Should we kind of force a certain worldview on a 5-year-old, or just kind of let them develop on their own and kind of learn things as they go along?
Well, I think it should be, one should be required in Catholic schools for sure. But I think in terms of public schools, I think it could just be an optional class. Because there are several classes in public school that are optional.
Yeah.
That the parents can, or the child can choose to
Elective
take.
or something,
Yeah, but is that any, again, just playing devil's advocate, at a public school, I guess as an elective, you say you can learn Thomistic philosophy. Do you also say, okay, we're going to learn, sex education from Planned Parenthood as an elective? Because even if liberal
That's true.
parents put their kid in that class, it's still not fair to the kid, right?
Yeah.
No, but I think like 5-year-olds are like naturally curious. They're always asking questions, why this, why that, to the elderly or parents or their teachers. So I think they're natural like philosophers, because they always want to know why at that age. I remember when I was 5, I'm like, Mom, how does the car turn where you want it to turn when you drive on the road?
Yeah.
And she just laughed and said, oh, because I tell it to. Like, I'll speak.
She's in control.
Yeah.
One of the local ISDs here in the North Texas area has an elective in a few schools for a Bible class, a Bible history class. And that one was an interesting one that they had, how they managed to get it into it, because they had to do it from a very historical standpoint. And also because, their argument, like a gentleman would come and speak to our youth group about it, was obviously he was a Christian and he just wanted that class there. But also he said a good point is that the Bible has so many cultural references in it. You know what I mean? It's like the basis of so many. You'll hear a saying, you'll hear the references when we talk about things happening in 3. Talk about why do so many fairy tales talk about like on the 3rd day or on the 3rd, all these things.
3 little bears.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many things that refer to the Bible that if a kid is not Christian and wasn't exposed to it, they'd be so lost on a lot of things.
Yeah,
That's true.
And I think one of the fundamental questions is, what is truth? Like, nobody's going to say, don't teach, arithmetic to a young person, because that's just, it's just facts and they all need to learn it. Nobody's going to really dispute that.
Sure.
Aquinas would come down, and in fact, he does this in the first questions of Summa, saying that the principles of sacred doctrine are more noble than other sciences. And so the things that we think are just obvious, like chemistry or biology or some of these things that are just, nobody's going to debate it. Aquinas would say it's more certain that these things. So yes, we should, quote, force them upon the kids, because you're forcing the truth. We do that anyways.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I take math against my will,
Right.
Forced to do it.
We force a language on kids. I mean, we don't tell them what language would you like to
learn how to speak.
Yeah. I want to learn Latin, Mom.
Yeah. That shit usually comes out. Go ahead.
Sorry. I know a lot of public universities, at least universities, teach medieval philosophy. Like I know A&M, they teach Augustine philosophy and stuff like that. So I feel like you could get away with it. And plus, like you said, it is a truth. It's meant to help you grow and understand things. Whereas the sex ed things, or the modern definition of that, is a bit more politically based, and just sort of trying to, further an agenda that way, as opposed to just genuinely growing the child's, brain and his perspective and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
A couple comments from Buddy. He said, first off, when we were talking about earlier, he said sex should not be a school subject. And he also said that he never took philosophy until he went to St. Thomas University. But we were exposed to Karl Marx and communism and Plato and John Locke in history and government classes.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay,
the same thing with me.
So he said we were exposed to Karl Marx and communism and Plato and John Locke in history and government classes. Interesting. So let's see. None of those Christians. I'm not sure about Locke. Marx certainly was. He's an atheist. Plato was pre-Christian. John Locke, he was an empiricist.
I know John Locke. I just don't remember if he was Christian.
No, he was. I think he was either really wibbly Protestant or agnostic, because he did say some things that were very contrary to faith.
Mm-hmm.
That's another point, though. I think is that when they teach us stuff about Marx and all these, bad people with bad ideologies, as a way of sort of teaching us about, whether or not it's good or bad, it's good to learn about it and to understand why it's bad or why it's good.
Yeah.
So the same thing you could do with philosophy in that sense.
Yeah. Well, I've got 5 examples in the class of the show today of things that I think that, and you tell me, you guys are free to disagree. Could a 5-year-old grasp this? I picked 5 because it's like around the kindergarten age.
I mean, and also you were like, you know what? That's basically Jonathan and Sissel's understanding levels.
Kind of like having a fight. I don't know. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit.
6-year-old at least.
Okay. So 6-year-old. Well, maybe I might even
7.
Jumped it up to 7. Yeah.
Oh,
the age of
okay,
reason.
wow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was
'cause I like to at least think the co-hosts are of the age of reason. Otherwise I'm
total idiots.
So anybody else that wants to jump in, we always
the Bear hat.
always appreciate. And look at that, we got a couple people on Twitter. It's one viewer and then Elon Musk. Elon's
Thanks,
spending a lot of
Elon.
time just
Thanks,
kind of
yeah.
looking around on Twitter these days.
I bet he
like-
bought it just so he could keep us on Twitter.
Yeah, so we don't
must
get bopped off of it.
Not a lot of people paying
I think that's
attention.
me
trying to
'cause
get
I'm
us
on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Well, Diane, Elon, hey, it's fine. So, all right. So let's do a few of these, and feel free to jump in. We also take calls if you want to call. Feel free. 877-757-9424. Keeps Diane busy. She's got an eagle eye on that phone line there. If anybody wants to call in and chat with us, 877-757-9424. And so, all right. So here on the slideshow, we have our hero, St. Thomas Aquinas, 13th century Dominican priest, and that's kind of who we base the whole show on. So, all right. So there's a Summa, and it's 5 volumes. It's really big. And so the question is, can we teach this to kids? All right. Can you teach it? And should we? All right. I'm going to come down on we should. And there's a picture of children. Okay. Young children, young innocent minds. And I would say, they're going to be directed somewhere, because they're not just, they've got intellects. They're going to start forming a worldview, and like I said, we don't wait on languages. We don't wait on anything else. We don't wait on arithmetic or other things. We don't we don't wait on much. Teaching them good, maybe hygiene and that kind of stuff. We teach a lot of stuff to 5-year-olds. So why not Thomistic philosophy? So here's the first one. So you sit down with a 5-year-old child and you say, can it be demonstrated that God exists? Okay. And now I think we've gone over this. I know you guys have, sometimes short memories as far as
we do.
There's a lot, and no shame. But can we demonstrate that God exists? Okay.
Can we
Yes.
demonstrate?
And how would you do that to a 5-year-old?
Probably would not
Four.
say the word demonstrate.
Yeah. Can we show?
Show, yeah. Can we
Excuse me,
show?
child. Is it possible that we
yeah.
can demonstrate within our own, by our own power that
Can we prove
a
that
higher
God
power
If you
does
use an
can
English
exist?
accent, you actually have more credibility with a kid, okay?
you
So
go.
let's say you sit down with a 5-year-old and you want them to believe that there's a God, and you want to just, say, hey, you got to believe there's a God because the church teaches it in the Bible, so you must, right? So you want them to use a little bit, use their noodle to figure this out, right? So you say to them, okay, let's say, so here's kind of the explanation from Aquinas. I won't get into all this, but he basically is talking about cause and effect. Okay, so everybody knows cause and effect. This is what Thomas would call a first principle, right? We know that there's cause and effect. We don't have to be taught that, if I pour this water over Jonathan's head, his hair is going to get wet and he's going to probably punch me in the face. Okay,
I might not punch you in the face. That's very extreme.
But your hair will get wet, right? Yeah. Okay. So the cause and effect, we all know that. You run into a wall, you're probably going to hurt yourself if you that kind of thing. So every child knows this just naturally. They don't have to be taught it. Okay. And he says every effect depends upon its cause. If the effect exists, then the cause must pre-exist. Okay, so there's the lesson. If we have an effect, there must be a cause to it. So you show them this picture, and you say to them, "You got that picture of the beach there?"
Mm-hmm.
And you put a 5-year-old down and say, "You're on the beach, and you walk up and you see this. Okay, this is effects, right? What would you assume about this picture?"
Well, someone just walked by.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. So you think the one on the left looks like it might be
dog.
like Bigfoot or something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
one of those is bigger than
You
the
think
other.
I think that may be a human, don't you think?
I think the big
Human
one's a
and a
human, but
dog.
the small one's a dog.
Yeah, small
Okay,
dog.
so that even further, you could say, what kind of creatures are these? Okay, so now you got the 5-year-old thinking, okay, I'm actually, I don't see the cause, but I see the effects, right? And so, would you say a 5-year-old could agree that it's pretty much impossible that those just kind of got there on their own?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some cause, right? Okay, so now we And let me see. Okay, so now I got this next picture up there. It's a kid, and let's say they go downstairs, they have dinner, and their room was like spotless, right? They had it all organized. Everything was perfect. And they come back after dinner, and the room looks like that. Okay, and the girl is okay, this is something a 5-year-old can relate to, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, they got a lot of siblings. Okay, they got younger brothers and sisters.
They're
Okay,
gonna start pointing some fingers.
So this is an effect. The room's a mess. Okay, and this girl's clearly upset about it. So what's the cause? Did it happen that way on its own?
No.
There was bigger little brother.
Play
Somebody messed up the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they got classic cause and effect going on right there.
Right.
Okay, so now we move on to our next picture, and this is another thing that they can relate to. They've probably seen sunsets and birds and water and human beings and all that kind of stuff. So would it not stand to reason that these would also have a cause?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what would be that cause? I mean, so where'd they all come from? All right,
And
so
that's where the little kid goes, I don't know.
you think they would, or do you think they?
I think they would say, I don't know. I mean, it depends on if they, how well they know.
Well, they would say mom and dad first, but then you have to ask the question, where did your mom and dad come from? And then you could eventually,
And now you're on the second proof of the existence of God, and so you got this 5-year-old really. Okay, so what if you just plant the seed? You don't say little Stephanie or Joe, they come from God. But at least they've learned this lesson, and they're like, oh, that little picture about the messy room, that kind of makes sense. I can relate to that. My siblings have messed up my room before, and they're a cause of I've seen footprints in the snow or the sand before, and so now when they see a bird or they see the sea or the clouds, if nothing else, they're like, I wonder who caused that. What caused that? I mean, you're right about the kid. You think, oh, it's mom and dad, but
But
So
no,
you're saying that
cloud.
you would or you wouldn't say that it came from God?
I
You
don't
let
know.
them reason it.
Yeah, well, you think no? Let's just say you just leave it there, and just say
And watch it happen.
yeah, because there's you could. I mean, that's up to the discretion of the parent, but just say, yeah, isn't that interesting? Because if everything has a cause, I mean, well, I wonder where that got there. I wonder where's that from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now all of a sudden you got this little 5-year-old philosopher, and thinking,
Gotta grow a beard and get a German last name, and they're on their way.
Yeah. I have to say, I really, really do wish that I was taught something like this when I was younger, because, a few years ago, when I really became obsessed with Aquinas, I met an atheist, and he really just kind of shook my worldview about whether or not God existed. Because I'd always just been told that God just exists. He just does.
Right. Well, that's what most kids, you learn the catechism or something like that.
And never given any reason to
You're
believe.
not given the reason. Yeah, I also agree. My parents were coming into Christianity when I was about that age. And so, they also didn't probably have the right answers for it.
Yeah, because I mean that's a real question, the Summa, and that's how Aquinas answers it. Is he says cause and effect. We look around, we've talked about this around the show before, but the angle here is, why are we waiting until kids are 18 and 19 and University of Dallas to learn this? And they're like, oh wow, that's kind of makes sense. But at the in the meantime, they've had a whole lifetime of TV and Hollywood and movies, and they may be so predisposed to not believe in God that maybe it's too late.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so it sounds like you guys might be convinced that first one might be a work that might work, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. Any other comments? Thanks to Buddy. Yes, we should, and they should absorb the information. Okay, Buddy, thanks for the comments. So, okay, here's another one. And if you guys think of any others, I had a little bit more. I actually prepared these, but if you can think of other little lessons, that's one of the things I'd like to do is develop like a YouTube page or website where people contribute and say, hey, we got to teach this to kids, All right, so whether the perfection of all things are in God, okay? So this is, Thomas says, So, if something has any degree of perfection, it first exists in God. So how do you teach this to a 5-year-old? Okay.
Do tell, Dave.
Yes,
I will. Believe me.
Because I'm like, I want to see this happen.
Okay, are you being facetious?
No, I'm genuinely. I want to know. I'm interested to know how you're gonna.
Going to simplify it until Dave talks.
So here's the lesson. Whatever, you don't read this to the kid. This is kind of, how like the teacher has to prepare the night before,
Listen,
and so
when you read it to even Jonathan and I sometimes, we're like, can you explain it in your words now?
So the whatever perfection exists in an effect must be found in the effective cause. Okay, so now you're going not just cause and effect, but perfection. All right, so you say to the child something, you show them something like this, have you ever Okay, have you ever made a piece of art? Okay, you ever molded something like pottery? You see these two pictures on there now. Okay, so let's just say your teacher were to say, Sally, John, that is wonderful. That is so beautiful. That is like, perfect. It's just amazing what you did, right? Well, that it didn't happen on its own. It came from you, right? Yeah. So whatever degree of perfection exists in that artwork came from you, 5-year-old child, who created it, right? So it doesn't. There's a connection between the creator and the art, right? So now you go on to something like this little puppy dog here on the right, and say, do you think your little puppy dog, your kitty cat, or your goldfish? I mean, you like it? It's got some degree of perfection to it. So, well, it wasn't just like that artwork. It didn't create itself. Right, and it goes. You can go back to the mom and dad, and the puppy's parents, and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, again, just kind of get some thinking, because if they think of their artwork, certainly they're not going to think that artwork just kind of popped. It came from them. It had a cause, right?
And speaking of that dog, in a few years, you're going to have to tell him that Aquinas thinks that its soul will expire upon its death, and that it's not in heaven. So just get yourself ready.
That's a couple lessons later.
You get them, you set them up for that, right? But but we also said maybe the dog's in heaven, but not on its own accord, right? But and in which dogs are in heaven? Only the dogs that the people liked, like some stray mangy dog,
Dog hell.
Sorry. No dog hell. All right. So, anyways, let's see if anybody got any comments. I know, Cicely, you're keeping track of that.
Yep.
So if anybody says anything, let us know.
Will do.
And all right. So here's another one. Okay, you all ready for another one? This is kind of cool. Okay, Thomas says, "Are there ideas?" Okay, so let's get kids.
I feel like I'm recalling back to a time when we were talking about thought bubbles and things like that.
Oh, no, remember
the floating ideas, and so my brain just went.
Didn't you think about that the whole weekend?
PTSD. Just going back to that.
I remember that. Like you have a thought, but you don't have a body and a brain, so it's just kind of like a thought.
It's floating in the air.
Or like the angels communicating with each other, through sending, so
signals,
that the idea has to kind of travel through the air, something like that. So
what he said that. So say it again. If there are ideas.
Yeah. So all you're doing now is it's almost like a lesson in Platonism for a little kid to realize that there are ideas, and then there's a material world. So there's a even Plato said there's a world of universal forms. There's something like up there. I mean that isn't necessarily a Christian idea specifically, but things have form and things have matter, right? And so like even the sacraments, you're going to have the matter, like the bread and wine for the Eucharist, right? And then you're going to have the words, which don't have matter, which animate it, right? Which make it what it is. And so maybe this one may be a little deep for kids, but and we've done this lesson before. So you say to a kid, I'll say a word like bird, okay, and then think, didn't something pop in your mind?
Birdness.
Yeah, birdness.
Okay, birdness. Yeah, and so then you show them, 3 pictures of very, very different birds. Okay, clearly these are very different kinds of birds, but they all have birdness. And so what makes a bird a bird? Birdness. And then you could say, if you really want to get deep, and by this time the 5-year-old's like, can I go play outside?
I'm done. I just wanted a glass of water.
Well, you don't have to do these all in one lesson. Let's say you do one, and depending, some kids are going to be more interested than others. I bet you when Aquinas was 5, I mean, he's 5 years old, he was asking his teachers, what is God? I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
And so I guess in defense of all this, maybe if you plant some seeds, age appropriately, and you got to know your kid, and whether if they just hate it, then just, back off. But at least to get some thinking, like a bird is more than just the feathers and the beak. And, there's actually something called birdness, because all 3 of these birds share birdness, but they're clearly very different, right? Yeah. And so just, maybe then you just say, all right, you go play. And so the whole time they're playing, they're thinking like,
Birdness. Wait, what about turkeyness?
Turkeyness and birdness would be related, right?
It would be.
It'd be a subset of
Turkey birdness?
Turkey birdness. Okay, so those are ideas. You just kind of plant the seed.
Got it.
Just say, there's ideas.
Give the kid an existential crisis early.
Or you could even say, hey, Sally, do you have any ideas? And they'd be like, yeah, I want to go, roller skating, right? Well, that's an abstract. That's but it that's just an idea. That's not just to say I want to go roller skating. You're not roller skating, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is that probably maybe a bridge too far for that one?
No, I think it will work. But you have to keep it simple with just birdness, and then turkeyness is a subset.
Yeah. All right. And then when they take that freshman class at UD in philosophy, they'll say, I remember when I was 5.
I remember learning
my
about birdness.
dad. And they got their hand up for every question because they've been taught this stuff their entire life. Okay, 2 more. Did you guys bring trivia today, by the way?
I did. Well, I stole it from Sissel.
Sissel, she brought a whole book.
I have brought trivia.
All right. I want to see the day when maybe one of our dear listeners brings some
trivia
to us.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it hasn't really happened yet, but okay. So what are we down? 2 more.
I think so.
Okay. Now this one I think is a little bit easier for a 5-year-old to understand. Okay. And again, you don't have to do all these, in one sitting. Okay. But I think
is it good to do it in this order though? Do you think?
Good question. I don't know. I think there could be an order to it. I kind of put this together based on, I don't even know if this is flowing in the same order in the Summa. I just thought like,
that makes sense.
I
guess it depends on also maybe you have a situation with your kid
the kid,
it kind of comes up and stuff like that.
So now you say, if there's a God, which we believe there is a God, would he be perfect? And I think most kids would say,
probably
should be perfect. Yeah, because why would you not be, right? So is he immutable or does he ever change, right? Okay, so does he ever change? And why? Like, what could you say? Like, because of course Thomas is going to say God never changes. So why? How could you explain that to a
yeah, that's an interesting one. So would it be just simply like how we grow or something like that? Like that we change to an extent? Would it be?
Yeah, well, you can compare us to God. Yeah, because God's not growing.
That's like the only thing I could think of.
God's like a grown up always, something like that. You could say.
Yeah. Well, it's he's always growing. Yeah, but then that introduces kind of age to it, right?
Right.
Well,
Yeah. So
complicating it slightly.
Yeah. So here's a lesson. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read this one. Okay, everything which is moved acquires something by its movement, and attains to what it had not attained previously. But since God is infinite, comprehending in himself all the plenitude of perfection of all being, he cannot acquire anything new, nor extend himself to anything whereto he was not extended previously. Hence, movement is in no way belongs to him. Okay, so there's no movement, there's no change. So then you show a picture of, like these two things, two very, very different scenarios, like traffic, and then what would that be? Like a hyena?
It's a fox, I think.
Oh, is it a fox? Okay, country boy. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Jonathan, a resident animal expert. Oh my gosh, that's a very excited little fox. I feel like the cameraman should be a little bit more concerned.
Yeah. How do you know he's not?
He's like, I gotta get this shot and then run for my life.
Yeah, I would just see if the tail's wagging, kind of like in a dog. He kind of looks happy.
Happy because he's about to eat.
Okay, so how do we know that nothing in this picture, as far as the cars and the fox, have reached a state of perfection?
How do we know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because isn't that you can imagine something better, right?
You can.
Or you can imagine it not existing.
Do you notice that these? Do y'all notice that this must be like in London or something? Because the cars
they're on the left side.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the road. Yeah. Interesting. All right, that's not why they're.
I was going to say is that you could tie that in.
They're not in Texas, man.
Yeah, Texas.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because why? Okay, here now. This. Tell me if this is too deep for a 5-year-old. Okay. But,
well, if it's too deep for us, then yes. So we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good gauge.
Test audience, right?
Yes.
So if you're perfect, why would you move?
Oh.
I mean, why? If I'm in a state of absolute perfection,
there's no need to.
So you wouldn't want the chocolate chip cookie over there.
Why would
you move to the chocolate chip cookie?
Why would I desire a chocolate chip cookie if I'm perfect? I mean, because then that chocolate chip cookie is adding to my perfection. Otherwise, I wouldn't eat it, right?
I have a question. Since we brought up perfection twice, as I am not a parent, and nor is Jonathan, how would you first go talk to kids about perfection?
Well, it would be tied into goodness, which is what is desirable. So if something is desirable, it has a degree of goodness, and perfection would be like the highest degree of goodness. It's I guess, are there gradations of goodness where something is good and something is even better, and then perfect would be the highest.
Got it. Okay.
So God would be absolutely perfect. It's one of his 7 attributes. Okay, God is perfect. He's also good. And so it'd be to the degree of if that fox was in a total state of perfection, he would not be wanting to run towards the cameraman for whatever purpose. He
would just be standing,
Yeah.
floating, staring ahead.
Which is one of the reasons why, like, God is infinite. He's not in a place, because if he's in a place, then he might move, and the moment he moves, he has proved that other place was not perfect, right? Because that you have to be everywhere,
Right.
Because if you're everywhere, then you're like in the perfect place because you're everywhere. Because you wouldn't have wanted to say, like, I'd rather be over there. Well, then that first date wasn't very perfect, right?
Yeah.
So that I don't know. Do you think so every time the 5-year-old like gets hungry or gets thirsty or wants to go to bed or wants to slap its sibling or something, they can say, well, I must not be perfect because
I must not be God.
Time to exercise my imperfection by drinking some water.
Exactly.
That's right. Because if you're perfect, you wouldn't.
I gotta scratch my chin because I exercise my imperfections.
So, but you think about it, perfection is just like this state of like, just like I got nothing I need to do. I don't need to change. I don't need to move. I'm just,
I think it's a pretty effective one, assuming that the kid understands what perfection is.
Yeah. This would have to be something, I think, for older kids. Not older, but maybe like 7 or 8.
It also depends on the kid, because I know some kids, 5-year-olds, who have a big vocabulary and they understand a lot of things, and then some of the ones that aren't. It's just different development and stuff.
And
like
there's
that.
probably some 30-year-olds that couldn't grasp this, and then some 5-year-olds that could. Okay, so this one, the last one here is the Holy Ghost. Okay, so by the time a kid's 5, they've probably heard about the Holy Spirit, and they're like, what's the Holy Spirit, right? What would you have said the Holy Spirit was when you were 5 years old? I mean, because it's probably important that if that there's a God, it's 3 persons. Like, what is Father and Son is easier to understand because you think of like your dad and your son. But the Holy Ghost, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, love is the Holy Ghost is love. And what does that mean, right?
They didn't teach me that when I was younger.
Really?
They didn't teach me that he was love.
Honestly, if you ask a kid what the Holy Spirit is, they'll say a dove.
That's what I always said.
Yeah. But does that help you much? I mean, a dove?
Like, oh, it's cool. You can fly around, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the doves are what, some people shoot at. They eat them, wrap them in bacon. I mean, but doves are also very innocent. They're pure. They're
right.
And all that. So, okay. So here's the explanation from Aquinas. It says, when the term love is taken in a notional sense, it means nothing else than to spirate love, just as to speak is to produce a word, which is pretty interesting, and to flower is to produce flowers. As therefore we say that a tree flowers by its flower, so do we say that the Father, by the Word or the Son, speaks himself and his creatures. That's kind of cool right there. And that the Father and the Son love each other and us by the Holy Ghost, or by love proceeding. Okay, so the Holy Ghost proceeds from the love of the Father and the Son. So the obvious, example of that would be, and obviously you want to very age appropriately say, don't mommy and daddy love each other, and it doesn't. I mean, be careful,
Yeah.
But I mean, a kid could know that. Your mom and dad love each other, and then boom, I appeared.
Mm-hmm.
You can stop there, but they have that. So there's a product of love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a sign because they love the child. And Thomas uses the example of flowers budding forth, and so there's when something good happens, there is a budding forth of something beautiful, and the Holy Spirit probably isn't typically taught to young people that it's the result of the love between the Father and the Son. Okay, so but anyways, I thought that was kind of cool.
That is.
Yeah.
So there's a 5-year-old that had been listening to us the last 30 minutes. I mean,
I'm sure everyone at home, when they saw the title of this show, they ran to get their 5-year-old. They're like, let me
I
sit
wish
you
there
down.
was. We should have had a 5-year-old in studio with
Should've.
us.
Oh, yeah.
You had that smart young girl.
Yeah,
in
she's a little bit
studio.
older than 5, but I was with a 6-year-old last night, so yeah. I'm now interested. I might go and talk to her about it and see what she comes up
Just kind of
with.
pick your favorite one, okay?
Pick your favorite
not,
child.
not your favorite 5-year-old, your favorite one of these lessons. Which one do you think would be the easiest to do?
I think the
The
cause and
footsteps.
effect.
Yeah.
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
I might try telling that to my little sister.
Oh, yeah? Can you report back next week?
Can we come back next week and I might try to see a kid this week and see if I can
Just find some
Some random
I was
kid.
like me at the mall and I'm like,
random
excuse me,
kid
can
at
I
the
talk to
mall."
your child about Thomistic philosophy?
Give him home to speak about
Yeah.
our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. But I would love if like Catholic schools would inquire. I mean, this got to be kind of fine tuned. Right now,
Of
it's just kind
course,
of in
of
the
course.
idea phase. But because I'm telling you now, and I've talked to people, administrators and principals and all that of Catholic schools, is that a lot of them are getting really challenged by charter schools and the enrollment is going down and
Sure.
all that. But there's got to be something different. There's got to be something different about the Catholic schools, and maybe something like this. And and maybe they'll find that by the time the kids are 6, 7, 8, or 6th grade, 7th grade, they're like, every kid in this class is a believer in God, and there's no atheists. Nobody's questioning it. That'd be kind of cool. So
Maybe you'll develop that, Dave. Maybe you'll develop the program.
Yeah, I think I am right now.
Yeah, you are.
With y'all are my
Or the guinea
unwitting
pigs.
test audience.
They could just say like it was tested with a 18-year-old and a 23-year-old.
Right.
Wait, are you 18? You're 18.
I'm 18.
You're
18 years old, yeah.
So.
All right, so
Two baby
anybody
adults.
out there in social media land have any comments or questions, or do you think this
Thoughts?
is
Violent reactions?
feasible? And by the way, I
Violent
did. And this is not like a plug for it, but I have.
Do you want me to do the plug for you so you feel less weird?
Yeah, I feel like it's less self-serving.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a book written about this kind of talk about St. Thomas Aquinas for everyone, including your little kids, and it was written by our own Dave Palmer. So if
Do you
you
remember
are,
the subtitle?
hang on a second.
If you get it right, I'll.
Do you remember the name of my documentary? No, I'm joking.
The one you told me about yesterday? Yeah, no, I don't.
That's okay. No, it's
I don't even know if
30,
I remember it.
30 lessons step by step, something like that. Is that what it is? No.
Yeah, no, you're close.
okay.
It's and I promise you, I may not get it myself. It's 30 quick and fun lessons, activities, and outdoor adventures based on the Summa Theologia. Say that 20
That was
times.
right on the tip of my tongue. I got the 30 part, 30 lessons.
You knew there's 30 of them.
I knew it said something to do with outdoors
Yeah,
too.
and it's only like the first half of the first part of the Summa. And so the idea was I was going to have to do 7 more of them, but I just kind of petered out a little bit. But
Like Aquinas, you just stopped.
yeah, I was like, it's all like straw to me.
Yeah.
Is what I said. Yeah.
I will find a link to it. And
Yeah.
post
Okay.
it.
Sure. Post a picture of it. Okay. Because of our crazy day, do you want to and by the way, if anybody out there wants to call in, talk, discuss, now's your chance because we're about to transition into trivia.
Oh yeah.
877-757-9424, 877-757-9424, or comment, because here in just a moment we are going to be moving on to something else, and your opportunity to comment on this particular topic is going to be over. All right. Any final comments before we transition?
obviously right now it's great that if we start introducing it to the younger generations, because I do think it's an important thing, but it's also like, I think a lot of parents are intimidated by the idea of it because they didn't get it themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even in college, they may not have even done any Christian philosophy. So it's an interesting one to, for them to be able, because I know that my parents would have been like in that boat, because again, they started going back to Christianity when I was 6 or 7, and so I remember asking questions, and sometimes they just did like the waving kind of response. I remember asking my parents, like, okay, like, well, how did God survive, or Adam and Eve survive when the meteor hit the dinosaurs? Asking questions. I was very and my parents just like, oh my gosh.
But it shows that the kids are asking questions.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, one of my daughters at a very young age said, Dad, if God created everything, who created God? It's a great question.
Yeah, a lot of kids I've heard that question.
You got to be prepared to answer it. Okay,
right.
So how would you answer that? I mean, if you
I
had
want to go.
Diane, how would you answer it?
Well, you cannot question a God that well, you can, but I mean, God created us, and we are limited. Our mind is limited in nature. We cannot, I guess, describe how vast God is. He's like unlimited, and yet a limited person is asking, how can a creator who knows all things in the entire universe, I guess, create us or whatever? But that's like, you can't really ask that question because he's unlimited, whereas we human beings are limitless. So it's like we can't fathom that.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, if a 5-year-old, would they be able to grasp that? Or you yeah, it's a tough question to answer. You could say, of course, Thomas would say he's the uncaused cause, and you can't keep going back and back and back and back and back and forever, because then you just go to infinity, and at some point, you have to have something that.
Yeah, basically, how can you question something that is infinite when we are finite?
Yeah.
What I kind of I had a friend. I mean, I don't know if you could probably dumb this down to a kid level, but when I explained this to one of my friends who's an atheist, I said that it helps to not think of God as a human being. I mean, obviously we think of Jesus, but to think of God as a whole, kind of take a step back and just see the Trinity as a whole. God is just a source of being itself, or a source of existence, so that he always had to have existed. For anything else to have existed, and he kind of produces himself continuously, you could say.
Produces himself?
No, I should say that.
Oh no, yeah, he is existence itself.
Yeah, but he doesn't produce himself.
Yeah. It's a tough one, but again, if you at least get the kid thinking like, okay, that's something else I can kind of chew on a little bit. You may not have the best answer, and it's a challenging answer. But I do think the kind of like infinite regression, if you're going back and back and back and back and back, they could probably understand that.
That wouldn't work.
Because I think in a kid's mind, you can't just keep going. We naturally think, that there's a beginning and an end to things, and you're not.
We're thinking in very human terms, because that's what we're used to.
But it just can't go back and back and back. So I think they would understand that at some point there was something that caused something that wasn't caused itself. But it's a good question though. All right, you want to move us into our next phase, and I'm a little embarrassed. I'm not very prepared today, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen. Yeah. So you can mock me and make fun of me.
And now it's that time of the show where we give Dave Summa to think about, and he gives it right back. But today we brought a book.
Oh yeah.
We're not sponsored, by the way, by the Ultimate Catholic Trivia book that was in my house. It's 1,001 fun and fascinating facts.
You're not gonna do them all, are you?
Oh yeah.
Every single. You're gonna sit
Speed
here the
round.
whole
Let's
time.
go. No. So
by the way, Colin, he is that your friend, Colin?
No. This is a frequent GRN listener, though.
Okay. He said, the Alpha and the Omega, great question. I remember asking this when I was young.
You asked about what is God?
Yeah. The beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Kids naturally think this stuff. I mean, and
because they have there's a point where I think the older you get, the more to other things you're thinking about. You're like, oh, bills and this and that. That some of those really deep thoughts you just don't come to your brain.
Or and you could say if the kid says, if God created the world, who created God? And then you could even say, what do you think? And let their little 5-year-old brain that hasn't been polluted by all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah, you could do that, and then I would imagine. Just thinking like my little brother might say that, was there another God that created God? And then you kind of help him see the flaw in the infinite going back.
Yeah. So why can't there be two gods?
Because there would be two infinites that would create an infinite.
Yeah. Well, they have to be different, right? Because if it's exactly the same, then you only have one,
and then there would be one that would be lesser, one would be greater.
Yeah. They have to, if two things are different, then they can't both have exactly the same perfection.
Right.
One has to have a little bit different than the other, and then all of a sudden you have degrees. And so one isn't as good as the other one. So the other one's God. I don't know. I think a kid could understand that.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If you have like two dogs that are exactly the same in perfection, they're exactly then you have one dog. I mean, you don't have there's no difference at all, right? Okay. All right. I think that maybe some of this would just have the kids be like, make it stop, but it depends on the kid. All right, so who wants to start us off on trivia fun today?
I think Jonathan should go.
Okay.
And now I'd just like to say that Jonathan was sponsored by Sissel today.
I was sponsored by Sissel.
You gave him?
I gave him the book to look through.
Yeah, I just stole him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All right, so and I'm gonna get myself prepared.
Do you need the book too?
No, I got it.
No, I don't take the easy road.
So oh, come on. It's the same thing. He's Googling stuff.
We paid for my parents paid.
Yeah, she paid for it. Or her
my
parents paid for it. And I'm just mooching off of it.
Because Jonathan and I a few weeks ago were talking about how we really just needed a good source because we were running out of internet sources of lists of trivia questions.
Right.
And I was like, let me just look on Amazon if there's a Catholic trivia book, and this was one of the first ones that came up. And I see on my it's my parents' account, I see last purchase like July 2016. I'm like, okay, apparently this is in my house, so I just found it this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, good timing.
Yeah,
to
I know,
find it.
right?
Okay, so all right, Jonathan.
All right, so I was initially going to do the Bible themes because that was the first chapter in the book for Bible trivia, but I thought Cecil was going to get every single one of those, right?
Yeah.
So I chose
Protestant.
Yeah,
Protestant. Former Protestant.
Yeah, I like how you say Protestant, and someone's like,
Yeah.
what is she on Catholic radio?
Yeah, right.
So I chose a Vatican theme because I figured it's, there's some obscure Vatican stuff going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How many people are the citizens of Vatican City, official citizens?
How many are official citizens of
Ooh,
Vatican
it's
City?
not that many, I don't think.
As its independent country.
As an independent country. Okay. Something wants me to say no, 0. I don't know why, but maybe no.
0.
Okay.
I'll let you know that's not right.
That's not right. Okay.
Is it 1?
No, 1. just Jesus.
Just the Pope.
Just the Pope.
I'm gonna say. I don't know. Do you want to see who gets closer?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say 15,000.
He went way higher than I was gonna go. I was gonna go real small. I'm gonna say I don't know now. Now I'm questioning everything. Now that he went that high,
You're questioning your very being, aren't you?
I am. I'm a 5-year-old questioning everything. 1,000.
Cecil, you are correct.
Oh.
Well, no, not correct, but closer.
What is it?
It's 826.
I thought it was in the hundreds. I was gonna say like 200.
It's the people that work for the Vatican.
Yeah,
right? That's
people,
it.
people drive in,
And they don't have wives and kids and all that. So
Yeah.
I presume that clapping is for Cecil and not me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. My town.
That one's for me. Okay. Thank you, Diane.
My town of Anna, Texas, has a larger population than Vatican City.
Wow. Good job.
All right.
Go
so
Anna.
Secondary. The second question. Secondary. How many acres is Vatican City? Now, actually, it's small because they're measuring it in acres, but
I think it's only like.
You go first.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's 3 or smaller.
Oh, don't react. She's saying 3 acres?
Yeah.
3 acres. Seriously,
Yes.
that's tiny.
I know it's.
You couldn't even fit a building hardly on that.
I know.
Like a 3-acre lot.
Let me have my moment.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, probably should have gone a little higher, but it's okay.
If I wanted to take it easy, I'd say 4, and I know I'd be right. But I'm not that kind of guy.
100.
Okay? Yeah, that was
Maybe
my
it was
guess.
300.
I'm gonna say. No, I'm gonna say. 800.
800. So you say 3?
I said 3.
Okay. Well, you're wrong.
Well, no kidding, Jonathan.
You said
800.
800. You're also wrong.
Okay.
And Diane, you said 100, right?
Zion the closest.
Yes.
All right. It's 109 acres.
Okay, see, I knew it was like, okay,
You're actually closer.
I was actually closer. If it was just Dave and I would have won, you realize.
That's true, yeah.
Just saying.
Just for the record.
For whatever reason, I think I was thinking of that backwards.
That's
but
tiny.
I know my brain and sizes don't always line up, right? I knew it was really small, though. It's smaller than anything I was thinking. By the way, Colin was thinking on the previous question, he was more with you about 15,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Final question.
Dave overshoots, I undershoot. What can I say?
I know. And I don't have a point yet. In case, in case anybody's
I'm not
paying
keeping track.
attention
You
to
two
this.
have one. All right. So
I'm glad someone is.
this is the last one. What is the highest order of chivalry within the papal orders?
Chivalry? Is that what you said?
Chivalry.
Chivalry.
I don't even know. I mean, the order of the order of the knight. I'm going to say with a K.
Yeah, what about you?
I have no idea. I am so I'll go with knight too. That sounds great.
Order of the Knight.
Oh, is that right?
No,
Oh,
that's what your answer is?
Yeah, I
what
guess
is it?
so. Yeah.
It is the Supreme Order of Christ.
The Supreme
I love
Order.
how he explains the Supreme.
Order
It's
of
amazing.
Christ.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Jonathan found the
I
fun
needed multiple
questions.
choice on that one because
Right?
that
Oh
was a
no,
little
that's
tough.
true. Yeah, I should have done that. Well, they
Okay.
didn't give me any other options apart from just like, is it the Order of the Knight? Is it the Popey Order, or is it the Supreme Order of Christ?
The Pope.
The Popey order? Yeah, I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Do you want to go, Dave, or do you want me to go?
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
yeah.
You're welcome for the book.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just thanks, Cecil, really.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Cecil.
you're up next, Cecil. More trivia fun.
I just found another one that's even more interesting. But anyhow, sorry. I just found there's a list here. This book is also a few years old, so we do have to be careful about when we give numbers and things like that. There was one here that's Catholic top 10, the top 10 states that are proportionately Catholic.
Oh.
Texas is
percentage-wise.
like number 2
Oh,
these
but
days.
you mean per capita?
It
Rhode
says,
Island would be first.
Oh, no.
Per capita. It is per capita. Yeah.
Rhode Island.
So do you want to do this?
Yes, do
Yeah.
this.
Let's do this. I'm going to abandon what I was going to do originally. I just saw this on the page. I
Wait,
was
so
gonna
when
read.
was this?
This was from the Catholic Almanac in 2009. So it is old, a bit old, but I think it'll be roughly accurate.
Okay. All right. So
Colin said, "Go, Jonathan."
Go, John.
all right. So number one. Oh, thank you. Yes. Go, I was like, wait, what?
Okay,
what?
so how are we doing
Okay,
this?
so number one,
Number one?
You're right, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Oh, come on, no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I mean, if you want to try to go in order, you feel free to. But
Thank you,
I
thank
Just
you.
list off names.
Thank you to the studio audience for recognizing, that I got a point. Yeah. Okay, number two?
number two, yeah, go for it.
Louisiana.
No. Okay.
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Do you want to know? Do you want me to give?
It's going to be in the Northeast. It's going to be something like Massachusetts.
Ding 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 ding.
How? Louisiana? I thought. What?
He's so indignant.
Their counties are called
order of
parishes.
Jesus tonight.
Yes. No, it's the supreme
Remember,
order
it's
of
per
Christ.
capita, Jonathan.
Oh.
Got to think of small states.
Okay. Yeah.
Small states.
You got to think geographically, too.
All right, number three. What are
Alabama.
we thinking? Number three.
Number three.
Alabama's the smallest state you can think of.
Alabama's got like 2% Catholic, my man.
It's in the
I don't know
Bible,
about
There's
though.
no
geography.
Catholics in Alabama.
Yes, because EWTN's there. That's like brought the most Catholics probably
I
too.
like playing against him better than you because I actually win some here. Okay,
It's
so
like such a compliment to me, and I'm back.
I'm gonna say again. I think it's gonna be in the Northeast. I'm gonna say.
Let me put it this way: the first five are in the Northeast.
Yeah, there
Pennsylvania.
you go.
That's your guess. Okay, what's your guess?
For number three, I'm gonna go with Delaware.
Delaware. Where's
Both
that?
are wrong.
Where's that?
John?
I don't know American geography very
It's
well.
up in the Northeast.
Yeah, it's in the Northeast.
It is a very
Like-
tiny little.
Yankee Land.
It's New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Okay.
Some Jersey.
Okay.
All right.
Jersey. You from Jersey?
No, Jersey. Number four.
Number four is you've already told us it's in the Northeast, and so
Connecticut.
I'm gonna
No.
go.
Is that your guess?
Wait. Yes. Is Connecticut in the Northeast?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Connecticut.
you had a certain delight when he said that.
Just because I
Okay.
feel badly for
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna say New York.
New York, Connecticut.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Okay.
Now I will say, Dave, I'm just going to go ahead and give you the next one. And the next one was New York.
New York.
So you were
Okay,
very
so I
close.
got
All
that
right.
one right.
So now we have five more, and there's still going to be one more in the Northeast, and the rest are all over the country. So
Okay, Pennsylvania.
That's number 8.
Okay, so we just kind of you're not
Let's
guessing
give,
in
let's
order
just
now.
guess now.
Okay, and
You've said
Louisiana.
Yes.
Yeah,
10, number 10.
Thank you.
Number
Louisiana.
10. You barely made it.
And then Virginia. No.
Wait.
There's no more really over that area
Oh,
anymore.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's all
California.
Mm-mm.
No.
Texas.
Mm-mm.
New
Wanna see
Mexico.
the-
Florida.
Nope.
New Mexico.
I said no more on this side. Yeah, not New Mexico either.
But I
It's
mean,
gonna be
North Dakota.
Nope.
North
Wait,
Carolina.
oh no, okay, Michigan.
Michigan.
Nope.
Illinois.
Minnesota.
Yes, Illinois.
Illinois.
Never mind.
Illinois.
Illinois, probably Indiana, Ohio. Ohio's not. Iowa,
Nope.
America.
Minnesota.
We already said Minnesota.
Okay, still isn't down there. They didn't.
It didn't change while I
Okay,
was
we
looking at
down
it.
to what, 2 or 3?
You have 1, 2, I think. Just 2 left.
What are the other states?
I will say one is more
Michigan.
on the west side, and one is more
Colorado.
middle.
Like
Middle.
west,
Like west.
Colorado,
Washington.
No.
No. it's-
Oregon, Arizona,
Gamble.
Gamble.
Oklahoma. You
In
said
the
Gamble.
west.
Yes, but I'm in the west.
Gamble.
Alaska.
Oh,
Gamble.
Nevada.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nevada has a
No,
lot of Catholics,
Yes,
huh?
they have 33%
Because
Catholic.
all the gambling.
Yeah.
Catholics are.
Catholics like gambling.
Yeah.
One
Catholics.
last.
What's the last one? Crowd's going wild. By
Crowd's
the way.
going wild. Yeah, for everyone and all the success we're having.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this last one. Do you want a hint that depending on, I guess, how culturally you're caught up? it would be helpful.
Oh, thanks.
No,
Thanks,
I'm
Sissel.
joking.
Gosh.
She looked at you with shame when she said that. By the way,
I'm trying to think if this would help Jonathan at all. Okay.
don't help Jonathan.
Cheeseheads.
Oh,
What's a cheesehead?
Wisconsin. You know what a cheesehead is? Man, I'm just gonna.
Jonathan, you
know-
need to have some Wisconsin cheese. It's the best.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of cheese that's made.
Wait, milk dairy
Yeah, yeah.
farms.
Do you make cheese? You don't grow it. You
You make
it.
cheese.
yeah,
you don't grow
make
it.
cheese.
I mean,
grow it on the
That
cheese.
doesn't grow
the
like
cheese
off a
fields.
tree. But
You
then haven't
nurture
you ever seen
cows.
like the Green Bay Packers?
They
Their
have the
their
cheese.
fans wear those little cheese head
cheese
things.
hats.
Fans of Green Bay. Okay.
I don't even know. I mean, I've heard
It
of
was
Green
a
Bay
bit of
Packers,
a.
but-
I was wanting to pull for Jonathan there, but I also had a feeling that was not going to
Okay,
help
look,
him.
all that matters is that Texas is the second most Catholic state right now, and that it's the best state, and it's awesome, and the rest of them don't matter.
You know, Jonathan, I have a book
It
that I
is.
think you'd appreciate at home. That's like the other 49 states guide to. Oh, sorry, a Texan's guide to the other 49 states.
Yeah, I should read
And when you
that.
open it up, and it's empty. It's blank.
There you go.
It's just like they just don't matter.
Yep,
It just,
exactly.
Colin was guessing Arizona,
Yes,
but
I
that
saw
was
that.
not one of
It
them.
was not, but it was a good guess.
Yeah, well, thank you. All right, I'm woefully unprepared here, but I'm just going to give it a shot.
Okay.
So this is because I always go by the theme of what we talked about in the lesson. Okay, we talked about education.
So we're talking about children.
Talking about children. So I don't have trivia about children,
Oh,
but I
man.
do have children about Catholic institutions of higher learning. Okay, because
Okay.
Jonathan's very excited. He's about to go off to college.
Oh, boy.
At UD. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to tell you a Catholic university, and you tell me what state it's in.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
This
you
should be
ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
And
I'm
you
ready.
got to keep up your
wait,
own
do,
score.
Wait, do we? Is it first come first?
First come, first serve.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
first
Oh,
come,
boy.
first serve. Okay. I'll start off relatively easy.
Okay.
University of Notre Dame.
Illinois.
Texas.
No, Indiana.
Notre Dame?
Indiana. I don't know why I said
Indiana.
Illinois. It came out wrong.
Okay.
No, I think Saint. Oh.
Indiana.
Okay.
Man, so sorry, Notre Dame people.
Okay.
my bad.
Let's see. University of Mary.
What?
Is that in Texas? The one in South Texas? No.
North Dakota.
Oh yeah, North Dakota.
Diane
That's
for
right.
the win.
That's where Toya's nephew
Okay,
goes.
yeah.
No,
This-
grandson.
Grandson.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ryan.
someone
Right.
goes.
Okay, keep your own score because I don't have a pen or anything with me. Okay, so. All right, Benedictine.
Go Kansas. My best friend goes there. I'd be in so much
I know
trouble.
that one.
Atchison,
Yeah.
Kansas.
All right, Xavier University.
Louisiana.
No.
Arkansas.
Ohio.
I'm just sitting here because I have no idea.
I'm just naming off random states.
Okay,
I don't know.
Xavier University is
Georgia.
in. Let me
Oklahoma.
see if any of our friends out there.
Yeah, because anyone else guess? Because I really have no idea.
Xavier is in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh,
no,
cool.
Okay.
Cincinnati.
So don't I get a point?
Yeah.
No. Did you say Ohio?
She did, yeah.
Oh, she did. Okay, I'm sorry, Diane. I
Well-
should have just. Okay, here's one. I know you've heard of this. Yeah, especially for sports fans and all that. You may. Diane will probably. See, Diane's gonna be good at this.
Yeah,
'cause
she is
knows
good
sports.
at this one.
No, that's true.
Seton Hall University.
Good.
New York.
Pennsylvania.
No and no.
Oh.
Rhode Island.
Virginia, South Carolina, North
You've heard
Carolina.
of Seton Hall, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. Because I'm thinking about St. Elizabeth
Illinois?
and Seton.
It's in
and
New
South-
Jersey.
Okay, I knew it was going to be in the Northeast somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Because I'm assuming it was named after St. Elizabeth and Seton.
yeah, right.
So I was
And
just
that's where
thinking about.
That's where
I was
she.
I couldn't remember where she was in particular, but I knew she was around
I
there.
used to think New Jersey was a part of the state of New York.
just
like
like
a city in New York.
That's really funny. I feel like you're probably not the
all right.
first.
How about Belmont Abbey College?
Oh, I do know. It's in North Carolina.
Jonathan just grunts.
I know. I knew that one. But
I just learned about that college just in the last month or so. So I'm
Okay.
really proud.
Now we're just going to try and make Jonathan feel better. Okay. So
No,
you just
that's-
you have to pause 2 seconds
I have
before
a
you answer this one.
handicap?
Okay. You have a handicap. Okay.
yeah, you're
'Cause-
handicapped because I'm handicapped.
Okay.
Look at
The,
it,
the
take my mouth or
University
something.
of Dallas.
Georgia.
Texas, baby.
Oh, come on, Jonathan. I'm trying to give you one here.
Was that
Okay. Okay. Big basketball school, Gonzaga University.
Washington.
There you go.
No idea. Diane would know, Diane would know these things.
Okay, Creighton University. It's
Maryland.
also a big basketball
Maryland?
school. Creighton. Diane doesn't even know this one. You've heard of Creighton, right?
Yeah, they're always in the NCAA men's basketball
It's a
tournament.
Jesuit school, Nebraska.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Creighton is Nebraska. Marquette University.
Oh, it's in Michigan.
There you go.
How do you know
Very
these
good.
Because one of my friend's mom went there. I only know it because of connections. It's the only reason why I know things.
Okay,
fair.
Villanova, famous school.
Oh.
Philadelphia.
I think you're right. So some of these I
Pennsylvania.
No. Villanova's in Philadelphia. She's exactly
Technically, it's
right.
Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Yeah,
DePaul
technically.
University.
Illinois.
Say it again.
DePaul.
New Mexico?
See, some of these have to-
Minnesota.
Wait, DePaul.
Minnesota.
Illinois.
Wait, I think Diane's right. I think DePaul is in wait.
Wait, how do you
sorry.
not know?
Wait, hold on. Let's see. DePaul University is in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois.
Good
Diane.
job,
Okay,
Diane.
so I'm sorry. I told you I was unprepared, right?
That's okay.
Okay, you want a couple more?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Crowd favorite. Let's see.
I just like shouting aggressively.
It's fun.
Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Duquesne University.
Minnesota?
Duquesne. You've heard of that, right?
I've heard of Duquesne. I don't remember where it is. Arizona, New Mexico, Washington, Oregon,
Wisconsin.
You can't just kind of like list
Are
off
you sure I
states.
can't? Are you sure? Colorado?
Wisconsin.
Duquesne
Colorado?
is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wow, Pennsylvania for the win. I got a lot
Yeah,
of them.
Pennsylvania. So who's winning? Diane's probably winning
I
here,
think
right?
Diane's probably winning.
Okay, so we're gonna have one more
Close second over here.
and I'm gonna do one that.
Is really easy.
Yeah, no, actually, I don't think I have any more easy ones.
Oh, you could do the Franciscan University of
No.
Steubenville.
You know that one?
Wow.
I think I know that one.
Okay. Let's see if I have any that.
Gonna do one that's easy, that like we're all gonna just be a fight for who gets it out first, or is it gonna be one that we actually have to think about for a second?
Notre Dame.
I mean,
we already did that one.
You've already drained all my knowledge
Okay.
of all Catholic colleges.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got.
There's
okay,
a couple
I
big ones he
got-
hasn't mentioned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Okay. This is the last one that I
Really?
am gonna do.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, can you think of some other ones?
I can think of
Okay.
two
Here's the
that we
last one.
hasn't.
Everybody's heard of this one. I bet Diane will get this right. Georgetown University,
I've heard of it, but I have
Maryland.
no idea where it is.
Maryland. Anybody want to guess?
DC.
DC. No.
Yes.
DC. Is it DC?
Washington,
Just
DC.
like the
Yeah.
Catholic College?
Yeah, Catholic University of America.
Is
Yeah.
that they're both in DC?
Yeah. Washington D.C.
That's the one I was thinking you hadn't mentioned yet.
Private, private university in Washington D.C.
Diane's getting a lot of applause.
I know.
That's because she has the applause button.
She does.
And
We should get the
yeah,
applause
so
button.
that's. I wish I had been a little bit more prepared, but today's been kind of a busy day. So
Can I
that was
mention
fun.
one that you didn't mention?
Yeah.
Ave Maria.
Yeah, it's too obvious. John,
Michigan.
You said University of Dallas, Dave.
I was trying to give him a point.
All of us have been on that campus, and two of us have attended
Yeah.
or are attending, or siblings are attending. Yeah.
Do you know where Ave Maria is?
Nope.
Yeah, you don't?
Florida.
Yeah,
Florida.
Way down,
Florida.
I'm a
way
Floridian,
down,
I'm allowed
way-
to say that.
Way down south.
Way
yes.
down
Way
south.
I mean,
So-
technically, we're further south than Florida is.
Okay.
Colin says he scores one,
He
but
got
you know
one.
what?
Washington,
We'll
D.C.
see. He got one. I think that we
I got
didn't
zero.
Get.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah, you got none of them. You didn't even get University of Dallas.
Well, 'cause
Technically,
I
on
said,
technicality.
no, it was on technicality.
I wanted to do
make a
one.
joke.
Okay. Yeah. Other Catholic universities in Texas.
There's
would be
one that is
University of
Mary's-
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one in San Antonio.
Yeah, isn't it St. Mary something?
I think it's Our Lady of the Lake.
Our Lady of the some. It's a Marian name.
Yeah. But it's something else. I forget. But all right. Any final thoughts? Good.
Nope, my thoughts are gone.
Yeah, me too.
Trivia took them away.
Any floating thoughts?
No thought bubbles, nothing.
First half,
all gone.
pretty intense, and then second half, lighter.
Yes.
Then we all walk away.
We take off our Darth Vader masks.
Better people than we came
light
in.
side.
All right, thanks, Diane. Jonathan, thanks so much. All right, so and thanks everybody for watching. God bless you. We'll see you next Friday for the next Back to the Father. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for joining us for Back to the Father. And don't forget, the glory of God is the human person fully alive. If you have comments about the show, email Dave Palmer at grnonline.com.